welcome to IDX Combatives, lesson number 5, core strikes. We're going to be talking in this video about 10 primary strikes. Obviously there's plenty of other types, and we're going to cover those either in a separate session or throughout when we start getting into the actual techniques. But these are the 10 core or primary strikes in the system. First ones that we're going to talk about are the ones that are used from the hand. So our first one is a thumb gouge. And the other thing real quick is that I'm going to be going through these pretty quickly. We're going to cover some details on each of them. But as we start doing going through the counters and techniques, we'll get into more specifics with each of these things. But for the thumb gouge, I'd like to do it with my hand slightly cupped and opened and the thumb extended, because you're going to want to hit the cheekbone when you're striking, and then the thumb goes into the eye. But you're going to get that secondary strike, perhaps breaking his cheekbone with that, and you can do it with both hands as well. The next one is the chin jab. That's kind of the meat and potatoes. The chin jab is where you're going to be coming upwards towards the chin. You're going to open your hand like as if you're holding a softball, and your arm is going to move almost like a Barbie doll. It's going to kind of be stuck in this motion. Your elbow is going to hit him in the solar plex. So as the strike comes through, you're going to be coming up, and your elbow is going to be down here, and then you're going to lift your elbow up and drive the fingers into the eyes at the same time. And again, when we start doing the techniques, we'll do these. When I show them on an actual person, you'll see it a little bit more. But just for some of the dynamics, your arm should be come up, the elbow comes down to the solar plex, then lift your elbow up and drive him backwards. The next one is the yoke strike. That's kind of a strike that's done with this part of the hand, primarily to the throat. You could also do it underneath the nose. The next one is the axe hand. In this system, we use the axe hand in a lot of places where a lot of people teach to punch. The axe hand is very versatile. There's two types of ways to do it. A lot of people teach it with your thumb extended. It kind of tightens up this area a little bit, or your thumb tied in. This is kind of more like a karate chop. Either way is fine. And then you're just going to hit from basically below your pinky to before your wrist. And obviously you can go this way or this way with that. The last one is the hammer fist. The hammer fist, I think everybody's pretty familiar. Everybody's done that, where you just kind of roll your hand into a fist and you're going to hit with the bottom. You can hit. It's great for hitting down, and you can also hit upwards with it as well. So if you wanted to go to the groin or something like that, it's good for almost every part of the body, that strike. Then we got our two joint strikes, which is the elbow strike. Again, you're kind of hitting with this part, and you got your wheeling elbow, which that one will go through the target. And then you have the type of elbow where you're just going to kind of land it right into them. The key with the elbow strike and with the knee strike is that you want your opposite foot to be past your target to get more power. So if I was to strike out here, I'm not going to have as much. But if I step forward and my foot is past my target, I'm going to have a lot more power behind that strike. And same thing with the knee strike. Again, kind of going upwards. You want to drive up into the target area. Usually with the knee strike, it's going to be the groin. And again, you're going to want your opposite foot to be equal or past the target to get the optimum amount of power with that. Then we got our two foot strikes. We got the edge of foot. You're going to use the inside edge of your foot in a sweeping motion, just kind of a sweeping kick. And then our last one is the stomp, and that's where you basically stomp down on someone. It could be when someone's on the ground, or like we talked about last week, when you're stomping on the inside of their foot, or if they're down on the ground, you can hit any of their joints, head, throat, solar plex, kidneys, the back, spine. The stomp kick is a great strike when someone's down on the ground. That's the basics of these 10 strikes. There's obviously a lot more to these strikes, and we're going to be going into them in a lot more detail as we do some of the techniques, and I have an actual person here in front of me, and we can kind of chain them together one into the other. You can see how it flows. And there's going to be other strikes that we're going to be introducing as well. Basic ones like the front kick and some of these other strikes that are common. We're going to be either doing a separate session on those, or they'll come out while we're doing some of the other techniques. the key is to practice these 10 that we've done, go over these, and like I said, we're going to be going into them in a lot more detail in the future. If you have any questions about any of these strikes, you can email me at idxcombatives@yahoo.com, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.